What's up YouTube, this is DWS Darius, and right now we are in the fish room. In this video I'm going to give you guys a fish room walkthrough. I'm going to show you guys all my aquariums, what's going on as of now, and what is to come. So if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because as you can see, I have a lot to offer. Many different tanks, many different setups, many different themes, and just a lot for you guys to see. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. So as always, we're going to start from left and make our way across the fish room. So first off, we have my 55-gallon Planet tank. This tank is home to just a mix of tropical fish. I have platies, rasbora, a few tetras, a few barbs, but I plan on redoing this tank as far as my fish stock. I got a new idea, and now I want to make this a shrimp tank. So in order for me to make this a shrimp tank, I got to get rid of some of my fish that will eat the shrimp, and those include the platies. Now the platies, I plan on throwing those in a pond when spring come around. So maybe I'll just put them in a different tank until spring. My Denenson barbs, all my other barbs, and some of my larger tetra will be going up to the 210. And then I'll keep my rasbora and maybe introduce another small fish. And then I'll fill this tank with different types of shrimp, probably mostly red cherry shrimp. And I know I already had experience with these bamboo shrimps. This shrimp right here is about 3 years old, and he's just awesome. Always does the top getting that filtering through the water coming out the filter. I want to add a few more of those and a few more red cherry shrimp, and this is going to be a 55-gallon Planet shrimp tank. So I think that will look pretty awesome. As far as plants, I still have that little jungle of Crypspiralis growing nicely. Over here I did a little trim on my Amazon sword because I wanted more light to hit my substrate. The Amazon sword didn't really like the trim so much, so some of the bigger leaves started to die off as well. Some of the leaves that I didn't trim, they were dying as well, but now it's starting to recover nicely again. And I also want you guys to look at this carpet. This is dwarf hairgrass. This is what I want to just cover the whole thing. So I have CO2 running. Now the thing that I did that was by mistake that I regret was I planted these things as clumps, and it's better to plant them individually because then you got a quicker runner spread rate. So now I have to just let these plants grow as slowly as they are going to grow now, because I planted them as clumps. So one thing I learned, next time I get a plant like this, break it up, take the time that's necessary. That's the thing, I didn't want to take the time, but it's better off when you take the time necessary to break it up into nice clumps, and then you can have a more better carpet. This right here is my platinum angelfish. He will be going into the 210-gallon aquarium upstairs as well. So beneath this, we have a 55-gallon, this is just a fry tank. I have some Geophallus standechneri fry, along with some green terrors from my last spawn. These two are about 1 inch. Only 3 green terrors survived, and that's because I waited too long to pull them out of the main aquarium with their parents. They were starting to grow up, they were starting to color up, and the adults felt intimidated and started to kill them off. So right when I noticed it, these were the only 3 that I were able to save. And yeah, with these are Geophallus standechneri. Now eventually these are going to go somewhere else, and this tank is going to be my tank for my breeding pair of 100+ cichlids, which I'm still trying to find a pair. I have 3 individuals, and hopefully from those 3 a pair can arise. If not, I'll have to figure out how to get a male or female, whichever one is needed. But yeah, that in the future is going to be another breeding tank. Right here is my 75-gallon tank that is holding my Mel Midas Cichlid. This is the beast that used to run the 210. He was just getting too aggressive, so now he's living life alone. And this is just an awesome fish. I definitely want him to be a permanent structure in this fish room, a permanent resident. So I'm not sure whether or not I should keep him solo, because he is a mean fish. He was with the Buttercophori and he nearly beat it to death. So now he's doing solo time. I'm trying to figure out, should I keep him solo or should I look for a female? But that's just future plans. If I do find a female, of course I'm going to need a bigger tank, so I got to consider all of that. Right there is an empty 20-gallon. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that. Maybe just leave it as a hospital tank. But here's a 29-gallon tank, and for this tank I have a 3D background, so I got to figure out what to put in there. I want to do some type of breeding, but I'm not sure what. I want to do something rare, something that you don't see every day. Up here is the 125-gallon. This is just a holding tank for the fish that are currently in it. I have my big Buttercophori, which I assume to be a female. She's about 11 inches. This is my 10-foot barb, which I just pulled out the pond. He was doing awesome in the pond, but you know, the temperature is dropping, so I'm bringing him in for the winter, and then in spring he's going back in the pond. So that's what I'm going to do with this 10-foot barb. Just I want them to spend as much time as they can in a pond. Right there is a little mid-devil fry that I pulled out the pond as well, because you know they spawned in a pond, and I try to get out as many as I can. There's still a lot that I gotta catch, but it's pretty hard because the only time that I'm able to catch them is at night when they're sleeping. During the day I can't see them because of the glare, so I'm still fighting to get those out of the pond. I have a bristlenose pleco in here to keep that algae under control. I have a pictus cactus, not a spotted pictus, a 4-line pictus. And then I have my Salvini cichlids right there. You can barely see that it's a Salvini because it's intimidated by the Botticophori. And the Botticophori isn't really aggressive towards them. However, just his size alone is enough to keep these fish intimidated. So they're not showing much color. Eventually I may do a divider or put them in a separate tank because, as I said before, I want to find a breeding pair out of my Salvini. Now of course they're looking terrible. However, the most dominant lives in that cave, and that one is showing a great deal of color, and I actually think that's a female in there. She's not out right now, but eventually I want to get a Salvini pair. But for this thing, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. If I do ever get a pair for that Mel Midas, maybe this will be their tank, but I'm still, as of now, not sure what's going to happen with this tank. Right here is my green Terra pair, which is just awesome. This pair right here is just amazing. My Mel is always showing this awesome coloration. You got that nice little nuchal hump being produced. My female, she's pretty cool. She's a decent size. I bought the female first. I let her reach full size. Usually if you buy your females younger and she breed younger, she's going to stay at that smaller size. I let her reach her full size at 5.5, not 5, well, close to 5 inches, and she's about 1 inch thick. If she would have bred at a smaller size, she most likely would have stayed that size. So I have a nice full size female. My male still has a lot more growing to do. But this is a decent pair. You see they have just a nice swarmer fry all over the tank. And I'm going to try to ship some of these fish to some people who wanted some. But yeah, this is an awesome pair, and I'm really proud of this pair right here. Next we have the 40-gallon reef tank. Now this tank needs a full video alone because there's just so much going on with this tank. Nothing bad, just all awesomeness. The corals are growing nicely as before. This is my frog spawn. I originally bought it 1 head, now it's going on 5 heads. Both of these hammer corals have 2 heads. This devil's hand leather coral, when it's fully extended, is 10 inches tall. When I bought it, it was 1 inch, so that's awesome growth right there. What else? This Duncan coral right now is not fully expanded, but this thing has it's going on 20 heads. And this too, I bought it with 1 head. This right here is my Galaxia coral. I just recently broke it by mistake, which ended up fragging it, and now both pieces are doing awesome. So the 40-gallon reef tank doing well. I need a full video just to tell you guys everything that's going on. You can see darting back and forth my Coral Beauty Angelfish. He's been in this tank now for going on 2 weeks, maybe 3, and he's just doing awesome. No problems with any coral nipping. I do feed him algae strips, so maybe seaweed strips, so maybe that's what's taking his attention away. But so far, so good, and he's just such a beautiful fish. I have a few anemones in this tank. Right here is a mini carpet anemone. Over here I have a rock flower anemone right there, and then another rock flower back there. And overall, this reef tank is awesome. I'm thinking about doing a hang on the back. What's that? A hang on the back refugium. Maybe I could grow out some copepods and maybe some aquatic plants. I'm not sure, but that's just a future plan. And then the last tank in the fish room is going to be my 125-gallon African cichlid tank. Now, I would have never ever have imagined me having to do fish surgery. However, right before this video, I just got done doing surgery on my species 44 African cichlid. Now, right now, he's pretty stressed out because of it. He's somewhere hiding back there, but he got into a fight with another fish, and I assume that the fish he fought was my where is he? I can't find none of them, but I assume that the fish he fought was my Eastern Happy Cichlid, which is up there in the corner. And in a fight, his upper lip was pulled off and it was hanging beneath under his face. So I don't know if you can imagine it, but imagine that upper lip of the fish. None of these fish let me see their upper lips, but imagine the upper lip just hanging beneath their chin. That's how I was with him, and it was just hanging around. So I took him out and I cut it off. So that was pretty weird, but thankfully he survived. But yeah, this is the African cichlid tank. Now, I didn't tell you guys, but I kept some of these fish in a pond, and when I attempted to bring them back, one of them had a disease, which was my electric blue eye. He spread the disease, and it was weird because the only fish that were affected by the disease were my high-ranking males. So my cobalt red top blue zebra, he died from it. My venustus, he died from it. My electric blue eye died from it, and one of my higher-ranking peacocks died from it as well. My clownwort loaches weren't affected at all, which was extremely shocking, seeing that these fish just are so sensitive. But yeah, that wiped out just my entire big or higher ranking fish. So that just caused a huge swing in hierarchy. It was really unbalanced for a long time. And then eventually this Labiotropheus Mabona Cichlid stepped up. I'm not liking him as the tank boss because he is being overly aggressive in my opinion. So maybe I'll take him out for a little bit and let this Dragon Blood take over, because he seems like he'll be a decent male. Now that's just my assumption. He could turn out to be a monster. However, I think he'll be better than the Mabona, because the Mabona are known to be just hard and aggressive fish. But yeah, this is the African cichlid tank. I still have to figure out just the hierarchy, figure out who's going to run this tank, and hopefully they run it well. I had a few additions that I added as juveniles, but right now they're not showing too much color, so I figure I might not show them until they start showing color. So YouTube, I think I'm going to end this video on that. I'm not going to show you guys the 210 gallon tank yet because it is under construction. So of course you see that I took out the 2 monster fish that were in that tank and I replaced them with another fish. If you watch my videos, if you know my channel, you know that there are a group of fish missing from this fish room, so you can figure out who's in the 210. But YouTube, this has been a look at my tanks, what's going on. And as far as the pond, I just winterized the pond. I was going to make a video, however that process took a few days, so I ended up not making a video. But all I did was, I think I'll show you guys what I did. So all I did was pretty much, replace the filters, the UVs, and put the net over it. Let's look at the pond. Oh yeah, bring you guys a little close up. The water's still nice and crystal clear. All the leaves on this little lattice vine starting to come off. They have the nice fall foliage. Yeah, this is a little look at the pond. Water is crystal clear. By YouTube, I'm going to end the video on that. Thank you all for watching. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave them in the comment section below. I'll let you guys meet Charlie. Charlie. Game Paul. Game Paul. Good boy. And that will be all.